It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Welcome everyone to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. We're trying to give you as much information what's happening in Luzerne County as possible. I'm very excited to have today on my show a good friend of mine, and I'm very excited about him being the president of Luzerne County Community College. John Yudichak is here to tell us about the great things that we have in our county, particularly LCCC. John, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're the 8th president. I'm excited. I was so excited to hear that you offered to become the president of the college, because I think there's a great need and that we could grow in the county. What do you think?
Absolutely. First, let me say up front, thank you for your service to Luzerne County Community College as one of the original board of trustee members, someone that shepherded in the early days of the college as community colleges were rolled out across Pennsylvania. I think now more than ever, when parents and students are looking at affordability, looking at access, looking at quality, community colleges, particularly our community college here in northeastern Pennsylvania, Luzerne County Community College, is the best choice for students, best choice for folks that have already gone into the workforce. What I have known for many, many years as a legislator, 24 years in the House and the Senate and the Pennsylvania General Assembly, is our community colleges are key to workforce development, key to our economy, giving people an opportunity to get an education or upgrade their skills. Very important to our economy, and recognized that nearly 99% of the students we educate at Luzerne County Community College stay in Pennsylvania, invest in Pennsylvania, pay taxes in Pennsylvania, and build our communities. There's no better return on our tax dollars and our tuition dollars than Luzerne County Community College.
Two questions, okay? First of all, I'd like to know what your vision is for Luzerne County Community College coming on as the 8th president. And then, probably incorporating with that your vision, is the fact that you have that much experience in government, okay, and how that will be, I think, a tremendous help to help your vision.
Yeah, well, having served on the FIA board, which deals with state grants for higher education, and on the PASHE board, the state system of higher education, serving on their board of governors, and serving on the appropriations committee and the education committee, I watched as the landscape of higher education was being disrupted dramatically in Pennsylvania. We've seen retrenchment at Penn State in terms of the Commonwealth campuses. Penn State, Hazleton, Wilkes-Barre, and Scranton consolidating under one chancellor, many folks leaving their service to those schools. The PASHE system consolidating schools, Lock Haven and Mansfield and Bloomsburg becoming Commonwealth University. And the governor, Governor Shapiro, former colleague of mine in the House, has laid out a very aggressive higher education plan, recognizing that higher education in Pennsylvania and really across the country is broken. In terms of primarily our four-year schools that have kind of outpriced many of our middle-class students, they've become too expensive, they take on too much debt. We need to be more innovative, and I think my vision is to use my experience in government to find more dollars, more efficiencies, and to continue to deliver on the promise of Luzerne County Community College. And that promise is affordability, accessibility, and quality. And we can do that becoming more financially sustainable. That's a key part of my early presidency at the community college, is to make sure that we put a staff together that makes that the most efficiently run in terms of budget, in terms of programs, in terms of the quality of our faculty and our staff, to make sure that students, again, get that access to an affordable, quality education they need to advance either to a bachelor degree or to advance directly in the workplace.
One of the things that we were stressed at when I was on the board, and in '74 the college was built, and I was I led the trustees along with Attorney Michael Udasic on the authority, but our whole concept of the college was, John, to meet the needs of Luzerne County. So if you needed plumbers, we should be able to give courses, especially in medical field, the nurses program, the culinary program. So is that still on the table as to meeting the needs in the county and finding out what those needs are?
Yeah, just as you did, and Attorney Yudichak, who I knew, and God rest his soul, good man, a very important part of Plymouth and the Luzerne County community in the Bar Association. What you focused on was what's in the name of Luzerne County Community College, and that's community. Yeah. I keep underlining that when I meet with people and I meet with faculty and staff, that community is in our name for a reason. We need to play that role to respond to the workforce. There's no, in terms of the health sciences, in terms of our nursing program, a surgical tech, I don't think there's any better program in northeastern Pennsylvania. It is a very competitive program. Healthcare is our #1 industry in northeastern Pennsylvania. We're going to continue to play that role. You're starting to see things like artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence manufacturing certificates. Those kind of things that were not thought of 5, 10 years ago are now very much in demand. The community college has the agility to respond to that. I'll give you one great example from my days in the legislature. We were trying to attract a company to northeastern Pennsylvania, a pharmaceutical company, a mail-order pharmaceutical company that eventually ended up being Caremark CVS. One of the key components to their workforce were pharmaceutical technicians. There wasn't an institution of higher education anywhere in northeastern Pennsylvania that had that program. The community college was agile enough to be able to put that program on the books and graduate pharmaceutical technicians. Now there's 600 to 700 jobs in northeastern Pennsylvania because of that program, and we were able to land that company. That's the story of Luzerne County Community College.
And you can multiply that by many other things, okay? When I look at the college, you know, I was down there 2 years ago and did with Tom Leary, who incidentally I hired, okay, was one that's done a great job. And I see the expansion, all right? It's like never in my wildest dreams would I imagine what we have there today. Give us, for those people who've never been at the college or seen, give us a sort of like a roadmap of what we have there in terms of buildings and courses and stuff like that.
Sure. We have a 167-acre campus right in the heart of Nanticoke City. And then we also have expanded into the downtown, where we've created the Culinary Arts Center, thanks to the great donation by the Paglianiti family. Grotto Pizza donated $1 million. We named that building after him. Great family story, and that Culinary Arts Institute is one of the best in the region. And we have the Carosa Health Science Center. Frances and Mary Carosa donated to the college. She was a nurse. She passed away. We honored her name, and that again is one of the best nursing programs in northeastern Pennsylvania. And we have 7 centers. We have a center here in Hazleton, Shamokin, Watsontown, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and Pittston. In addition to Berwick. So we have centers where we're partnering even outside of the county to provide the quality of service, because many of our programs, particularly in the health sciences, are in such great demand. So partnering either with our neighboring counties, partnering with business and industry throughout northeastern Pennsylvania, or partnering with our secondary schools, like the Hazleton Area School District, we have a great partnership with in terms of early education. We have nearly over 500 students in the early college program, which is a great program funded through the Education Improvement Tax Credit at the state level, where those more than 500 students get college credit for free because of that tax credit program, and they get a head start on college. They're able to transfer those credits to their degree. Some students, and one in Nanticoke just recently, graduated college before she graduated high school because she was able to go through the program. And that's because, again, the accessibility and affordability of Luzerne County community.
There are so many options there.
So many options.
There are so many options. When you're looking at your budget, it's $48.4 million, okay? Now, is that still based on, I remember it was 1/3 state, 1/3 county, and 1/3 students. Is that still based the same way?
That's how it was laid out in the Community College Act back in 1963 with Governor Scranton, who signed that act. The Commonwealth and the county have not generally lived up to that third. They've been very generous. I think the state is a little over $13 million, and the county's a little over $5 million. We're watching as the state negotiates its budget. It's past due. June 30 was the deadline. We're now into the second week of July without a state budget, so that'll impact unfortunately, community colleges and other public institutions across Pennsylvania. But they have not lived up to that third. That's going to be a continued conversation. I'm hoping the conversation started by Governor Shapiro in saying how we fund education in Pennsylvania is broken, results in an honest conversation about getting dollars to where they matter most. And I would argue that's community colleges. We have the best value in terms of tuition at $3,300 a semester. That is generally 50 to 75% more affordable than any other institution in Pennsylvania.
So how long has this been going on that the county has not come up with their 1/3 share?
It's generally, as again, I've said, they've been very generous, but as inflation has impacted the college, as the budget has expanded, that may have not kept up. That's now part of my job, to do a better job of educating our members of county council, our county manager, to work with them. They've been very supportive. They've been to the community college. We've given tours. So as we continue to educate our county sponsors, and we're very grateful to be sponsored by Luzerne County, we're going to continue to make the argument that an investment in Luzerne County Community College is a smart investment, because it's not only investments in individual students and their academic success, it's really an investment in our community and our workforce and our economy here in northeastern Pennsylvania.
You wouldn't know how many students have gone through the colleges. I know the tens of thousands.
Well, we're approaching 40,000 alumni. That's folks that will have a degree or diploma or a credential. But I think I heard the number the other day, maybe 500,000. In the 57 years of the college. That's an incredible impact on northeastern Pennsylvania. And so it is a very special place. I always knew it was an important asset to the region. I always didn't know the folks behind that asset, whether they were trustees like yourself or faculty and staff. So I'm so grateful that we've had so many great trustees and so many great faculty and staff over the years that have laid the foundation of this great college.
John, I cannot tell you how many people, when I served on the board, how many people with their children started off that didn't have the education, didn't want to go to college, but they had a trade, and they either the nursing program or culinary arts, etc. I could tell you stories of people who started there and who became leaders in their respective medical positions. And that was the whole reason, like in the technical part, the plumbing, the electrical, etc. We may not have all of that, but the point is we were able to fill those particular needs. As you said that one story about CBS, we're just able to really, and keep them in the county, all right? So that's why I'm surprised to see, if I sat on the board of trustees right now, we'd be having some serious conversations with the county, because they should be living up to their, this is my opinion, I'm not going to put you in a situation, they should be living up to their 1/3, because there is, this county, this Luzerne County College is such a tremendous asset. I mean, not only to the county, but it spills over into different counties. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree, and I give the county council and current manager Bill DeCrockwell great credit. They've done a great job. They had a serious financial issue over the last 10 years where they've had to pay down the debt. They've done a phenomenal job to do that. Again, they've been very supportive, and I'm sure they're going to be open to that conversation going forward to make sure that we're making the right investment in what I think is one of the most critical assets in terms of our economy, in terms of the quality of life in our communities, and that's Luzerne County Community College.
What do you think is going to happen with the governor's educational plan?
As I understand it, there's going to be continued conversation beyond the budget. It is not going to be part of the budget, certainly not in totality. But there's a lot to unpack in terms of governments, in terms of performance-based budgeting, in terms of increases to FIA grants. There's a lot of challenges, and particularly in K through 12 education in Pennsylvania that upended last year's budget negotiations and seemed to have a big impact. There's a big case that was decided in Commonwealth Court in terms of the basic ed formula for K through 12. That's sucked up all the oxygen around conversations around higher education and education in general. So I think that's going to continue. It's on my understanding they're going to put together a group, an advisory group to have further conversations. Senate Republicans rolled out a plan of their own. Senator Arger, our local senator here, a good friend of mine, is now head of the Education Committee in the Senate. He's going to be an important part of that conversation, along with Senator Martin, who is the Appropriations Chair. So we're going to continue to have those conversations and have an honest conversation about what's the best value for the investment of the Pennsylvania tax dollar. And I think when you look at 99% of our students staying in Pennsylvania and investing in Pennsylvania, over 85% of our students staying in Luzerne County and investing in Luzerne County, that's the best value for our investment.
So hopefully you'll have input in these negotiations.
Yeah, and I think that's where my background coming from government adds value into those conversations, understanding the dynamics of a legislative conversation, and also understanding the players and having relationships. So I'm hoping to put that to good use for the college.
Folks, I'm talking to John Yudichak, who is the new president of LCCC. It's just amazing. Current enrollment is over 4,000. We'll come back, we'll talk about enrollment, we'll talk about participating with other colleges. And if someone's on the fence, whether they want to do higher education, Luzerne County Community College is the way to go. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Hey, thanks for making the Sam Lesante Show the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. That comes from the Susquehanna Polling and Research Company. They are the #1 polling company in the United States. Appreciate that very much. My email, sam@ssptv.com. All of the shows we produce, neighborhood programs. We're your social media, my friends. Channel 13 and 513, of course, in Pottsville, Channel 190, and in Wilkes-Barre, Mountaintop, Channel 92. My guest, no stranger to this area at all, John Yudichak, who is the current president of LCCC, is the 8th president. That college has a special place in my heart because we built it. My friend, Attorney Michael Ludasik, was the chairman of the authority. I was the chairman of the board of trustees, and we built it on the fast-track method, less than $10 million. The school, when we built the school, everyone was excited. You know, as I said, we wanted to meet the needs. Now, there are people that are on the fence on higher education. That's where I think LCC comes into the picture. What advice do you have to these people that are on the fence about education?
Well, look at our success story. There's a lot of folks through the 57 years of the college that had their doubts of what they wanted to do with their career, whether they wanted to pursue a trade, whether they wanted to go into the healthcare field or another profession, and they got their start on their pathway to success at Luzerne County Community College. One of the most heartwarming things about becoming the 8th president are the stories that people freely come up to me and share.
Oh, yeah.
People that are great success stories in our community. I want to tell those stories. It's the best narrative in northeastern Pennsylvania, how folks who couldn't find their way. One example, and probably a friend of yours, Augie Piazza, who's on our board of trustees, was the original president of the student body government, one of the first graduating classes. He wasn't sure. Maybe his family did not have a lot of money, didn't have a lot of opportunities. He went on to become a superintendent of Wyoming Valley West.
Yeah.
Great success story, and continues to give back to the college. So those that are on the fence, when you're looking at a big number, and you're looking at $70,000 to $80,000 to $100,000 a year to go to a college, and you're not sure what path you want to take, there's no better opportunity. $3,300 for a semester. If you receive a Pell Grant could exceed $3,600. You have an opportunity perhaps at a free education, a free higher education. That's a great opportunity. And again, the quality of the programs, the breadth of the programs, over 100 academic and credential programs there at the community college, providing right now 4,100 students that are taking credit and about over 3,200 that are taking non-credit. That's just a little close to 7,200 students that are participating in great programs and getting a head start on their path to a very successful future.
Your faculty, second to none. I mean, they quality education. There's no shortcomings. There's no political games being played. It's strictly education. It's for the students and all ages of students. we're not talking only about, 18, 20, 21. We're talking about people that are 40s and 50s and 60s that have the opportunity of coming back in education. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing is really a disruption across the higher education demographic. What used to be a full-time student age between 18 and 20 is really a student between the ages 25 and higher, because they've already gone into the workforce. They may even have started a family. So we have to redesign. That's going to be the challenge of community colleges in the 21st century. You no longer have a full-time traditional student. You have a part-time student that's in the workplace. So you have to redesign how faculty interact with that student, whether there's hybrid learning, whether there's new amenities on campus to help build an ecosystem that gets a part-time student from admission to graduation. And that's key with the older students, is making sure we have a support system, that ecosystem, academic ecosystem around them, so we don't lose them because they have a job assignment, because they need to find childcare for their children. So those older students have different needs than what we may have remembered as full-time students. When I went to Penn State, I went full-time and worked part-time. Now that's been inverted. Students go to school part-time and work full-time. So we have to redesign that student support system ecosystem to help them get from admission to graduation.
So those students who are getting associate degrees, all right, and they want to go on to a bachelor's, the college does work with all the other colleges, correct?
Yes, we have great relationships with all the institutions of higher education here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Great articulation agreements so that the credits transfer from the community college to whatever college of that student's choice. Those arrangements and partnerships are very strong, and those institutions, those four-year institutions, are recognizing the quality of community college and those community college transfers as their own demographic challenges hit them. And we're all facing the same numbers in terms of there's fewer and fewer high school graduates in Pennsylvania, simply because the population numbers are down. So as we all compete for those students, we have to recognize we're not competitors. We need to be partners with our two-year and four-year institutions.
Let me tell you, when you're looking at $3,300, all right, per semester, correct?
Yep.
So you're looking at $6,600 for 1 year.
Yep.
You're looking at $12,000 for 2 years, all right? And some of them could get grants, as you said, could be less than that. And then after 2 years, you could then transfer to a King's or a Wilkes or a Penn State or a Scranton or Bloomsburg or whatever. That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah. No, there's no better value.
That's a hell of a deal, yeah.
And when parents, and I think you're seeing the national conversation change, where in my generation, my parents, Joe and Sally Yudichak, said, look, you're the last. You're the last kid, you're going to be the first generation, you're going to college, and we'll find a way. Now, gratefully, because they were hard blue-collar workers, I didn't have any college debt. I recognize that my 4 daughters, I'm not going to be able to give that same gift. So what happened in higher education? It became very expensive. And so you see, for the first time in the history of the country, polling that suggests that parents no longer see the value of a higher education because of the cost, because of the debt that gets put on the backs of these families. And so community colleges at $12,000 all in for a degree that all transfers to your next college, or you go on to the workplace where you don't have to have that debt burden. It's the best value in higher education. Luzerne County Community College is the best value in higher education.
I want you to tell our audience what your direction would be in dealing with the faculty and students as your tenure as president.
I tell everybody my job is to be the Chief Empowerment Officer. That means whether it's faculty or staff, whether it's the senior staff, the leadership team that really drives and runs the college, all the way down to the students. I want to make sure that I'm empowering them to make Luzerne County Community College the most accessible, most affordable, best quality institution of higher education in northeastern Pennsylvania. I want to make sure it's sustainable. You were kind enough to sustain us for the first 57 years. It's my job for the next 50 to make sure that that is a financially viable institution that continues to add value to individual lives in changing the trajectory of a student's life, giving them an opportunity at a great career, and also changing the trajectory of northeastern Pennsylvania and building the best quality economy for the workers of northeastern Pennsylvania.
And I have all the confidence in the world in you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, and Tom Leary did a great job.
Thank
You know, I'm very happy to say we hired him. Okay, I hired him. It was interesting. So I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
They couldn't find a finer person.
I
Believe me when
appreciate
I say
it.
that.
Thank you.
My friends, John Yudichak, we wish him the best. LCCC, Luzerne County Community College, and that was the whole reason why this college was built, to serve the community. And they are certainly doing a great job. Don't forget my friend Pat Solano too.
Yeah.
Pat was on the board. I put Pat on the board with me, and I think you have a statue now.
We have a statue and the Pat Solano Veteran Center, which was very important to Pat. And we appreciate him.
What a great, he
and his
was such a
family.
great guy. Okay, we'll see you next time.